The Business Club on TGM Radio UK. 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 Hello and welcome to the Business Club on Radio TGM UK. Welcome. My name's Ivan and I'll be hosting this show. It's going to be a weekly show, so this is our maiden appearance right here on TGM Radio UK. In the studio with me, I've got a guest. Gentleman who goes by the names of Samuel. I'll ask him to introduce himself to the crowd, to the audience, and we will kick off. So Samuel, you're welcome.
Hi. Hello everyone. My name's Sam and I'm a young entrepreneur, 90 years old, and I run two main businesses. One called Word of Mouth, which is an online media platform where we share inspiring stories of young people. And the second one is a tutoring agency called Scholarly, where we get university students to tutor GCSE and A-level students. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, Sam, you're going to have to be a little louder than
louder.
that.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm being a bit... Actually, I need to elevate my voice.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I can't hear you clearly now.
Yeah. Is that louder?
That's loud enough. So, yeah, say the name of your company once again.
Oh, my company is called Word of Mouth. So it sounds like word of mouth, but
yeah,
it's a play on words, and I can explain that if you want me to.
Yeah.
But we believe that the mouth is a powerful tool, and a lot of people don't know the value of their words. A lot of people don't know the value of the things they say and how it can be how it can be constructive or destructive. So we basically saying like we're just using words and just using content, we can impact people without having to have to physically touch them, without having to physically move them. But you can move someone by just through your mouth and through the words you say.
All right. Okay. Going back to you as a person.
Yeah.
Can you give me a brief background of how you've got involved in business?
Okay. From a very early age, so let's say about 15, 16, I was always someone who was very curious, and I always wanted to learn more than what I was to know more than what was in front of me. I always wanted to know more than the environment I was in. I always wanted to learn more than what I had access to, because I always knew there was more to life than what I had.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in an area which is quite social and economically deprived, you learn that sometimes have a lack of opportunities, and in life you have to, like, if you don't have the opportunities, you have to create the opportunities yourself.
Yeah. So
I always did that, the cliche thing which entrepreneur does is selling sweets in school.
Yeah.
Like starting a little business, because you learn that if you can't get things, you have to work for it. And from a lot of young people who start their own businesses, that's the kind of background they have, where they've had to get the things they want themselves.
Yeah.
And they've learned that you have to, you due to due to the situation you're in, your parents or even just in general, you won't be always giving it things on a silver plate.
Okay.
And
just a quick question. You say you come from an area that is associated with social
so like
hardship.
yeah.
Are you at liberty to say what area this is?
Yeah.
This is London, right?
Yeah, Southeast London. I grew up around Woolworth.
Okay.
So
inner city youth then.
Yeah. So urban.
The so-called urban youth.
Yeah. So.
You mentioned having to sell a couple of things at school. Was this by choice, or was it the circumstances forced you, or were you kind of emulating other people that you'd seen do that, maybe in family or in school?
I would say it was by choice, and it wasn't. I'll be honest, like my parents and my mum, especially my mum, she worked very hard to provide what she could provide for the family. But obviously, as a young person,
you just want more.
Like as a young person, as being around a society where young people care about materialistic things, I was kind of victim to that, where I wanted to have the trainers, I wanted to have this and that, and at the time my mum couldn't get me everything I wanted in terms of that. So I kind of by choice said, if I want these things, like I can get them myself, and I can kind of build my own source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And also I wanted to do that because I found it motivational, and I also found it like exciting to able to create money from kind of basically from nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and create a source of income which I don't have to rely. So basically, I felt excitement from the independence it kind of gave you. Yeah. Being able to no one ask me can I get money for a haircut? I can pay for a haircut myself. Just little things like that, where you just create. It makes you feel more like a man. Yeah. And especially being a boy, from in this society, like you're from an early age, you're kind of like you kind of learn that like people judge you on what you can provide, and you kind of learn that you have to be a man in the world, and you have to be the one that goes and gets it. You have to. So that kind of mentality also made me want to go get it.
Didn't this sort of enterprise get you into trouble with your parents? They say, where did you get this money from? Why are you doing business? Like,
not even just my parents, my school.
Mm.
Oh man, I have some interesting stories. So I used to sell that generic stuff. I think any young person who started a business in school selling sweets, they know about the cookies, the Lucozade, the sweets, like those kind of things is what you sell, because it's easy because it's always bought in multi-packs. You sell it individually, you make a little profit.
Split it.
Yeah, and my business was doing really well. I started in like year 9 to year 11. And as a young person, like it got to a point where I was making about £50 to £70 a week.
Yeah. And
then someone, that's not much now, but as an individual,
at the time, at that age, it's quite a bit.
You know what I mean? That's quite a bit. I can buy a new pair of trainers every single week, and that's £70 profit. You know what I mean? I can buy a new pair of trainers every week if I wanted to. But it got me in trouble with school because in school they feel like I don't know the reason why they don't like it, but for some reason they don't like it because you know what I mean.
Yeah, imagine if every single kid was trading.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be a market.
But then I learned so many. And the thing is, I'll never regret doing it because starting a business, like if it's something I can advise anyone, if you want to learn to have as many skills as possible, the best way is to start a business. If you start a business from scratch, you will gain so many skills you can't gain like from studying or from theory. Like it's so hands-on that you will become such a person with so much variety of skills, and like even your mindset will change. You know what I mean? The way you see things will change because it's like having a child. I mean, like you started something from scratch. It's growing. It's gonna take a lot of
nurturing.
Nurturing. It's gonna take a lot of thinking creatively. It's gonna take like so many different aspects. So much to explain, but people who start their own business, they know it changes you forever.
Yeah.
You're never
Now,
the same.
a lot of youth in your at that age, in your similar kind of surrounding and
Yeah.
circumstances, often with this desire to make money, end up on this wrong side of the law.
Mm.
How did you avoid that?
I'll say honestly, my parents, man, like I had a very strict for a long time. I had a very strict mother, and before I didn't understand why she was like that, but then when I realized what work and field she worked in, it made a lot more sense. Because my mum works in social health, and she's a social worker working in the mental health, like a mental health institution.
All right.
And she, and especially, and they're many of their clients, many of their patients are young individuals. So she has a lot of stories about young people going on the wrong path, and that's given her a lot of, like, she's very aware of what's happening in the society. Like a lot of young people's parents who are older and who may not be from this country originally, like,
Yeah.
they're not aware, they're not really as aware of what your kids are up to. Like, I mean, all you can know is what they say on the news and what your child might tell you, but there's so much more that your parents don't know. But my mum, because of the field she worked in, she knew a lot about what's happening in the street. So as a result, she took precautions to ensure that I never like experienced that. So I didn't understand it when I was young. Like, you know what I mean, mum, can I go to this party? No.
Yeah.
Mum, can I do this? No.
That for you, you
Yeah, I
felt
mean-
it was your freedom being taken away.
A lot of times I was like, wow, like, like, am I your child? Am I a prisoner? Like, which one is it? You know what I mean? But growing older, you understand why and why she was so fearful. Because I mean, kind of like, she can't deny the facts that like things are not fair and life is not fair, and
Yeah.
and people judge, and people, I mean, and unfortunately in the world we live in, like, a lot of factors and people cause other people to discriminate them and things to happen. So that's kind of why I didn't go down that path, because it was impossible for me slightly with my parents.
Yeah. So, having left school, you went on to. First of all, I think we skipped a major bit. What is your profession right now?
Okay, right now. So as I said, I'm still I'm not older, but I'm still in education. So
Yeah.
So I'm 19. I'm going 20. So I'm actually at university, but I'm doing a scheme called a degree apprenticeship,
Right.
which is a new kind of scheme where it mixes an apprenticeship scheme as well as a degree. So at the moment I'm working at a company called Pearson. So you basically do a corporate job, and the company you're working for, they pay for your university fees,
Yeah.
and they pay for your degree, and then they also like pay you to work for them.
Okay.
So-
And this apprenticeship works towards your degree.
Yeah. So the aim is the aim is that many employers have said that degrees are not giving graduates the skills that they need to work, and many employers are complaining that they still need to spend money training
Yeah.
young people once they leave university. So, like, what is the point of university where if you have the degree but you still can't do the job I need to do? So this is a new scheme to kind of like provide like pre-training in terms of how to actually just be in a professional environment, how to, you know what I mean, how to work on projects, how to do X, Y, Z, skills that you need to have by working hands-on in a job. And I think that's the aim. The aim is just to prepare more, is to have more adaptable skills to graduates now than just having theory and just having a piece of paper that says I got first or second or whatever.
Okay. On the flip side, a lot of youth at university age are skipping uni and claiming that it's a waste of time. They're not getting the education, the life education that they need for their work environment. And they're just going on to work, you know, wherever they find work. What do you think of that, and why is it that you didn't take that path?
To be honest, I slightly agree and like to an extent of what people's choices that in terms of they make, because I've experienced, not experienced, but I know a lot of older friends who have done, you know, what school's told to do, you know, do your A levels, do school, go to university, but they graduate. However, they still have not been able to find a job. Like, 6 months gone past since they graduate, they're still working at a retail job doing maybe Tesco, or 1 year goes past, they still cannot find a job that allows them to utilize the degree they paid £45,000 for to their advantage. So
they're now in debt because of
and they can't find a
tuition
job,
fees.
That allows them to even utilize the things they've learned in that university. So I feel like many young people are realizing that, like, what companies want is end of the day, like, can you do the job, yes or no? And if you can display you can do it, then why do you need to take the long path of having a piece of paper that says I can? Obviously some roles are different, like maybe specialist careers like lawyer, doctor, maybe finance, like that core degree is important because you need to actually know what you're doing. But many roles in the businesses which just kind of require common sense.
So at the end of it, are you an advocate for uni education?
I am. I feel like university is not just about like what you learn. I think there's an experience to it, which kind of takes a young person from that shell of being in school to more independent life, and that's a very important step, because if you don't have that step, some people might just go from school to work and they won't be able to handle it because it's such a massive jump. So I feel like university is important because you make networks there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You kind of
social skills.
It's kind of a time for you to discover yourself, because what I don't support is people just jumping into things for the sake of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think university is kind of a place where you kind of do find yourself, find who you are as a person, if you feel like what you wanted to do, if it is right for you, and it's just a chance for you to kind of like know yourself better. Sometimes when you just jump straight into work, you're just doing things. You're jumping into a kind of a trap where even if you don't like what you're doing, maybe because you're earning income, you don't want to leave.
You just go with the grind.
And then you're just there. And the longer you stay there, the harder it is to leave, because you might get promoted, and eventually you're not happy but you might be at a high salary, but you're not happy because you didn't give yourself that chance to discover what you really like to do and what your skills are.
So you are 19, going on 20.
It's hard to believe that one.
and you have how many companies?
Oh, two main companies.
Two companies. Okay, we heard about word of mouth.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Our one's called Scholarly.
Scholarly.
So like a scholar.
Yeah.
Scholar. It's like a verb for being scholarly. Is like being an academic.
Okay. Both of them are kind of involved in the same field, aren't they?
Yeah, in terms of giving young people opportunities to reach their potential and utilizing the skills of young people to benefit others. Yeah, that's
okay. What's the difference between the two? Why not one company doing?
So Scholarly is a tutoring agency, so it's very more specific. So Scholarly is not about content. It's not about creating content. It's more about
the actual work.
It's about work. So it's more educational based. So that's different. And word of mouth is more about. It is a platform, but I like to call it more of a movement, because it has so many branches to it. But the main thing is the website and our Instagram, our social media, and it's where we create and we share content, kind of just to shed a positive light on in the media to what the media normally shows of young people. As I say, like, I feel like many young people have potential that they don't know, and potential they're not informed of enough. And as a result, many young people would never go for what they really want to go for, because no one ever tells them it's possible. No one ever tells them examples of other young people who've done it and what they've achieved. So we're like, we want to do that. We want to, because there's so many stories. I mean, there's so many stories. There's so many people like me who are doing what I'm doing, or doing better than what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And the media doesn't cover that.
Yeah.
Many newspaper outlets don't care. They but when something negative happens,
exactly the negative news makes the headlines and
front, like even recently about the stabbings of in Camberwell, South London, like those kind of stuff is just headlines straight up because that's what they know, like that's what they care about. But there's so much stuff,
positive stuff that's going unreported, like anyway. But my next question to you is, obviously all your work is focused on the youth. But why the youth? Why did you single out the youth? Because I mean the market's still large out there. Why focus on the youth as a particular group?
Because it's interesting because many people who create youth businesses, they're maybe a bit much older, and then this is their chance of like giving back because they've done what they need to do, they're quite successful, and then they've created something to give back to young people. But like I feel like I wanted to create that because I wanted to allow other people to see in themselves what another person may see in them, and they may never know. I mean, they may never know. I feel like as a young person, your youth is so critical to your life in terms of where you're gonna go. Like, for example, in education, you only get one chance to go to secondary school, one chance to go to sixth form. You know what I mean? And then you go to university. Like those years of your life is so important, and that's where you find yourself. That's where you discover your identity. And if it's not done properly, it can be quite drastic in terms of how you turn out as a human being, and if you become the success you want to see. So I wanted to create a business and a venture that kind of allows just has a shift of a mindset. I feel like mindset is just one out to you. Like even if the businesses are not super successful, like if I'm able to say that I've helped to shift X amount of people's mindsets to say, like, for them to never believe that their age will like limit the scale of their achievements. I feel like young people feel like because I'm this age or because of different factors or attributes to themselves, they feel like I will never ever be able to succeed more than this. And I want to kind of create a mindset where like that's to eradicate that by showing stories of people who have kind of like believed in themselves and broken so many barriers, because we are the future. Like, hate it or love it, end of the day, when we grow up, we're gonna replace the people we look up to now. A lot of young people they're gonna take over the roles that is in the world now. And if we are the future, we should live and breathe that in terms of what we're achieving
and believe it
and exactly.
Okay, in how long has this or how have these businesses been up and running?
So Word for Mouth, I founded it in 2015. So I founded it in the summer that I went from year 11 to college. I literally gave up my whole summer. I was like, if I want to start something, I need to start it now. And I don't know if anyone here listening.
Okay. Were you a loner as a kid?
Oh no!
Did you have time to do anything that the rest of the crew did?
No. I enjoyed myself.
11, you had a business.
Yeah. Nah, I wasn't a loner, man. But I said my mum was strict. Like I didn't have the chance to go to these parties and stuff. So I might as well do something productive. You know what I mean? But 11, I didn't. Can I say sacrifice my whole summer?
Looking back, do you feel like you missed a bit of your childhood?
That's a deep question. It's a deep question. Let's go after the break.
You'll be happy when the pounds flow in.
Yes and no. Sometimes I do think about it. I think about would I ever regret, not just being a kid and just having fun, doing silly things and sometimes but then it's like I think youth is not it's not physically, it's mentally.
It's your mind.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a reason why so many adults still able to enjoy themselves and still feel.
Well, then again, come to think of it, other communities behaved just like you did. Like when we look at the Jewish community, when we look at the Asian community, they safeguard their children and teach them to run and take over the family business. And that's something we don't do extensively, whereas we tend to have too many parties, like party here, party there. But yeah, excuse me. Okay, since 2015, have you had a kind of progression or graduation of the youths that you've helped through your programs? Have you had any leave the program and go on to, say, succeed on their own, or to start stuff of their own?
Yeah. So we've kind of my website, it's like online magazine. The website has kind of created its own its own status or credibility as having like the Midas touch, as in like we if we feature you on our website, like we kind of like predict you're going to be successful, like in terms of the fact that many people we've put on there, and we kind of put them there when they were up and coming, where, you know, many people knew about their what they were doing. Like now they're, you know, major successes. Great example is an artist called Notes. I don't know if you heard of an artist called Notes.
Yeah.
Before Notes was massive now, like when his song Addison Lee first came out, we were one of the first platforms to share his background story, in terms of he's a one to watch, like watch out for him. He's gonna be massive soon, like, and we kind of shared that, we prophesized that success story, and as a result, that content, that article we put out was one of the most read on our platform ever, with about 100,000 reads. Because every time someone searched, for a long time when people used to search him, we was the only article that ever came up, because we was the first to put him out there. A lot of people. Another one is a female called Armani. She's an athlete.
Okay.
She ran for women's, not an Olympics. I think there was a games that happened this year. I think it was like just international games.
Yeah.
But she's also doing quite well. So so quite a few of our people I've forgotten names of. Quite a few, yeah. Like they go to do major things where like it's headline stories. As a result of that, people search them up, and then they come back to our website to see their story of how they got to where they are in terms of their journey, because we covered that before anyone else did, kind of thing.
All right, that's great. As a kind of interlude, I'm going to ask you to throw your socials out there, out the website, so viewers can log on to it, when they have time, once this show is over, and they can find out some more of these good stories.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So if you want to follow me, and then if you don't get the names of the other social media, you can just view my page. It will be on there. But on Instagram, it's @CEO Sam_. That's @CEO Sam_. I think that's quite easy to remember. That's the same as Twitter and Instagram, @CEO Sam_. And then my businesses is @worthofmouth_. If you don't remember that, I can't spell that. If you go on my Instagram page, in my bio, it will be on there. So that's @worthofmouth_, and that's for the online magazine. So yeah, check that out. So that's @CEO Sam_, and @worthofmouth_. How many people we got? How many views we got?
Okay, we're quite low today. Another apology I need to put out for our viewers is that we are not on the app today, but we're working to rectify that, and we'll get back on the app as soon as we can. It's the Business Club here on TGM Radio, and we're hosting Samuel Okusaga, a young entrepreneur doing big things in the community. In the second half of the show, we're just going to talk business.
Okay.
You've got experience setting up and running a business.
Yeah.
But we're going to dig deep into what it takes, because somebody out there has had this dream, and maybe today is the day they will actualize their dream. So take us through where do you start where do you start off if you want to set up a business?
I say you start with a vision, because the vision is kind of what kind of keeps you going. And I know everyone always says running a business is difficult, but I can never explain in words how difficult it is until you experience it. Like you would never understand the difficulty of what it is to run a business until you actually set one up. So you need to ensure you have a purpose that's strong enough for when you do experience those difficulties, that just keeps you going. So I say the vision is like, in terms of like, what does the success of this business look like to you? Like, actually visualize it. A lot of times I can tell you my vision, and this is something I visualize so often that keeps me going. Like, I want one day, this is the vision for me to say this is my business has been successful. I want one day for a teacher within a school to ask a student what they want to do. I mean, and then the student says, I want to do X, Y, Z, and the teacher kind of says to them, oh, that's not possible. You know, you're only 17, you're only 18. You know, why don't you wait, go to university, blah blah blah. And then they can say to the teacher, no, because I've read on word of mouth that this person has done this at this age, this person's done that at this age. Like, they can use our content as a rebuttal to the argument. They can argue, not argue back, but they can give a point back defending their dream, saying that I can do this because I've people on word of mouth. I've seen other young people do it.
Yeah.
So like, maybe you haven't seen it, but I have, because this is what they're sharing. So that's kind of my vision, to know word of mouth is successful. If a young person can use it to have confidence in themselves, to be like, even though you might tell me it's not possible, I know it's possible because I have examples. Then I feel my job.
Interesting enough, that was going to be my next question. You got the vision. Should of course you won't go telling everybody. How important is it to keep it to yourself, or how important is it to tell selected people about your vision? What do you say to the naysayers? Because often we when somebody has an idea, there's hundreds of people that will say that will never work, that will never succeed.
Is this interesting? Because this is something I've always believed in. Like, even like from an early, like, I've always told myself, like, you can never, like, you can only tell people can only visualize your vision as well as you explain it. And the thing is, in life, there's some things you just can't explain with words. You know what I mean? There's some things in life you can't explain. You don't have the words for it. It's something you have to experience yourself to understand it. So, like, you might have a vision in your mind, but if I tell you my vision, the image you have in your head may not be the vision I'm telling you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm explaining it with words. So you may never, people will never fully see what you're seeing because they can't be in your mind. You know what I mean? You can only explain it as best as you can. So if you understand that, when people don't get it, you won't feel impacted, because it's like, end of the day, like, you can't, maybe what you're seeing in your head, what you're visualizing it's not the same image I'm seeing. That's why you don't get it. When you understand that, it doesn't affect you as much. So when I say tell people your vision, because I like to say it's important to speak things and law of attraction into the universe.
Speak things into the universe, yeah.
And law of attraction, like, I heavily believe in that. I remember even with this show, like, I mean, I spoke to you about how law of attraction and how it's crazy, like this happened. So
and I'm a strong believer in that.
Exactly. So tell people, but then if people don't,
you speak your stuff into existence.
Yeah.
But some people worried about, if I speak my idea, somebody that's faster, somebody's got resources, is going to run out there and do it before I do, and probably do it to an extent that I can't match. And that's happened before.
Okay. Sometimes that happens, but I believe, like, you can always copy, but then if people can always copy, but the original will always be the original, if you get what I mean. As in, business is good. Like where there's competition, there's businesses thrive. I mean, when there's no competition, businesses aren't innovative. So you shouldn't be scared of competition. It should make you want to just be better. So, like, obviously be strategic in who you tell. Don't tell the whole. But if you think someone is trying to steal your idea, like, don't in terms of panic, because the way they, as I said with the vision, their vision in their head, it's not the, it might not be the vision. Yeah, like might be far. It might have the same concept, but the vision might be completely different, because I said you're the only person that can fully see your vision perfectly. Like there's a lot of businesses who do the same thing. A good example is Uber. There's Get. There's different cab apps,
Taxify and all that. Yeah,
that all trying to do what Uber done, but the reason they're not the same as Uber and the same for success is because, you know what I mean, Uber has their vision or their mission is just might be, it's just different to what the other companies doing, and they can never match that because they don't know what the vision is. They could only understand what people are what's been seen.
Is passion important?
Yes, heavily important. That's the only thing that's important, man. I would say, like, money will get you started, and the dream of money will get you started, but passion will keep you going when
times are hard.
Yeah, when the money's not there yet. Because, I mean, I'm sure many people, let's not lie, like many people think about the financial freedom that comes with running a business. Yeah. And that's one of the things that motivate people. But then, like, passion's there, allows you to sacrifice things now to gain it back later. I feel like a lot of people are scared to sacrifice things in the present because their future's unpredictable. So they're thinking, like, if I take this loss now and I lose money or I lose X, Y, Z, like, I may never get it back. But if you have passion, you're thinking, like, even if I do, like, if I make this loss now, like, I will ensure that I see the fruits of the labor, because you're passionate about what you're doing and you won't stop till you get there. So I think passion is very important.
So having said that, when I link this to passion, that means you're better off starting a business in a field that you already have an interest or a passionate interest in. But you could say you love education and the youth, so that's where your passion is, and that's what you're pursuing. But on the flip side, my boy down the road could have a shop selling trainers, and they're selling like hotcakes. So your passion in education is going to stop you setting up a trainer's shop, because you're probably not interested in trainers, but it's making money, a lot more money than your education business is making at a particular time. So this young entrepreneur is trying to balance those two. Money here and passion in the other hand.
That's a good question. My answer to that question is, it depends what kind of entrepreneur you want to be. A lot of people start ventures to leave a legacy, and some start it because they just enjoy creating businesses. Like, and there's nothing wrong with either two. If you're a person who likes to start a business, let it make its money, then quit, start something else, let it make its money, quit, then cool. That mentality will be there for you. But if you're a person where you feel like this idea you have, its purpose is bigger than you, and what it can do is bigger than what's in demand right now, then that might not entice you as much, because you're thinking like what this is doing for the world, or what this is doing for society, like that's
it's a world changer.
Yeah, that's what's feeding me, kind of thing. I mean, and money is gonna come. So
okay, let me have a look at what the viewers are saying. We got one very ardent watcher of our programs, Oli. She says, yes, passion has to be the first. She goes on to wave. We have Jamelia said, good job, Ivan and Samuel. Yeah, big ups to you.
Thank you.
Somebody else just says the business club. Jamila was asking, what is the topic? Jamila, it's the business club. We're just talking business, sharing ideas, motivating everybody, not just the youth. We motivate everybody. Let's get into the nitty gritty of setting up a business. I've set up a couple of businesses, but a couple of years ago, there was a scheme by the mayor. I think mayor of the time was Ken Livingstone. Quite innovative, that guy. He set up, I don't know if I can call it an organization or a branch of the mayor's office called One London. What One London used to do was to assist anybody that wanted to set up a business. You went in there, they gave you advice, they linked you up with banks, you got a business loan, and you're off. Those kind of, sorry, just a minute. Those kind of things don't happen anymore. I don't think we have any organization of that sort anymore. Did you have any help setting up your business?
I would say yes, I did, but it wasn't help in terms of I had help setting up properly. So many young people.
Let me say help from a governmental organization, before we get to help from the family, stuff that is there to help citizens to prosper.
No, I didn't, and I did it because I didn't know. That's it. If I knew, I would have. Why not?
I don't think it exists anymore.
Oh, I feel like there's many business things that help young people start businesses that they're not aware of because it's hardly promoted in schools because many schools don't even think about enterprise when it comes to education. They feel like enterprise and education kind of don't go hand in hand when they do. That's the beauty of it. Going through education and starting something on your own. That's like a full circle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, there was a lot of things I didn't know about in terms of organizations until I was older or my business already started.
Yeah.
But
so you had to adjust.
Yeah, I had to, but I started by myself. I didn't even know about getting funded and stuff like that. A lot of things were just self-funded by myself. With the money I made from my suites and stuff, or from work. So yeah.
So where did you get your advice from?
Okay, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books, man, and that's something I know is prominent in many young entrepreneurs that they read a lot or they curious for a lot of knowledge. So I read books like Think and Grow Rich. I read business books like the lean setup. Here's a lean business is what it's called. But
did you read anything from the big entrepreneurs of the day, the Jack Ma's, the Bill Gates and them kind of people?
Richard Branson's book. I think something Virgin something, but yeah. So those kind of books, and I also read a lot of self-development books. So those books kind of helped me in terms of mindset, and also helped me in terms of some parts of business.
Could you say that any of them guys is your sort of icon or somebody you look up to, inspiration?
Not exactly, because I'm inspired by more. I'm not just inspired by people's successes. I'm more inspired by people's journeys.
Okay.
And also people's backgrounds. So, of course, seeing someone who's a billionaire now, that's amazing, that's inspiring. But I don't feel a connection if we didn't kind of have the same. Because this is how you got there, but that's not how I'm gonna get there. My journey's gonna be different. But one person who kind of has similar background is someone called Jamal Edwards, and he's founded something called SBTV.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that before.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah, so Jamal Edwards, he's a big inspiration to me because he's a billionaire who was young. He started a media platform sharing people's music on YouTube. From London, same kind of mentality. So that's more inspiring to me because that's something where I can see the resemblance. I can see the similarity between me and him in terms of the journeys we're gonna have. So yeah.
to a young person or anybody starting a business right now,
Yeah.
where would you advise them to get help or finance or support?
I would say there's many organizations online that can help you. Firstly, go to your local council. There's always something there for local council. There's many grants that actual companies give out because it's part of their CSR. A lot of big companies actually give out grants to companies. So, for example, KPMG, they had the Black Entrepreneurs Award, where it's just closed recently, but it opens every year, where they give a young person who's an entrepreneur, who's black, they give him mentorship by someone who works in KPMG or like one of their senior strategists.
Yeah.
And also give them about £5,000 as funding.
Yeah. And that's a grant. You don't have paid
No,
back.
no, it's just funding as grant. So stuff like that is really helpful for a young person starting a business. There's also something the Prince's Trust. That's also really helpful. But I'll say is us young people, we know how to use the internet, we know how to use technology, but we hardly ever we don't ever use it to help benefit ourselves. We use it for social media, we use it to watch films.
Yeah.
But one day just go on Google and just search up all the questions you ever wanted to know the answers to, and you'll surely find an answer. Like a lot of things I know now is because I literally just used, because we live in an age of technology.
It's the information age.
It's around us, and it's interesting to see how many people don't tap into it because the amount of things you can learn. Like I know people who've learned how to fix a car. You know what I mean? Like I've known people who've learned how to become skilled people. I mean, how to trade, how to make movies, how to edit. Like
it's called the University of YouTube.
You know what I mean? how from online. I mean, learning online, like it's actually phenomenal. The skills you can give yourself.
Yeah.
Like free of charge.
Ollie on Facebook is asking you to repeat those books that you've read.
Okay, cool.
Probably quite slowly as well.
Okay,
so
cool.
Can get the title.
Some of my favorite books are Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, The Lean Startup, it's a good book as well. Richest Man in Babylon, The 4-Hour Week. That's a quite good book. So that's quite a good set of books there for people to read.
Okay.
And also, if you don't like reading, I know a lot of young people nowadays, books is thing of old age. You can always listen to them on
the audio books, yeah,
which is also very helpful. Like I do that as well because I know carrying books is quite heavy. And it's inconvenient. So listen to there's no excuse here. You can use your phone. I said you can use your phone, use your technology to actually benefit you or
okay. All right. So as I mentioned, I've been a client of One London, and when you went in there, you had an advisor, and this gentleman said to me once, "We have a problem in the Afro-Caribbean community, is that our businesses do a lot of things." At that time, he gave the example of I think we had the phone shops. Remember them phone shops before mobiles were too rampant? You had to go in there to call Africa, and there were phone booths in there.
Yeah.
And the same company would have the tour and travel agents in there. Then they'd have a salon in there. So and this is typical. If you go down the Old Kent Road, you see a lot of these, Old Kent Road, Hackney, and, all over London. Most community shops have about 5 businesses going. Do you think this hinders having your hand in so many pies?
I'll say no, man. No. Do you know why? Because in these books and also from my mentors, like, you just learn that the way to be wealthy is just to have multiple sources of income. Like, you rarely find someone who's become a millionaire from just having one source of income. And the thing is, many businesses do it. It's just that we don't realize a lot of businesses.
Yeah, they do it on a large scale.
Yeah, a lot of businesses have different ways of making income, and just that's what they do. Good example is, let's say, a football team. Football team makes money from buying and selling players, merchandise, ticket sales. You know, they don't have one way of making money.
Yeah.
Whether you have any examples of businesses you know what I mean? There's many businesses you know. If you do your research, you'll know companies. Even the companies who own other companies, that's another source of income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Many companies now own other companies, and that's their source of. So trust me, like, it's. I don't think. I think it's just the way it's done. Maybe it should be. The system might need to be improved to make it flow more smoothly, but I'll never disagree with different sources of income.
Okay.
So it's a good way.
So what do you think about duplication or copycat businesses? Happens a lot again in our communities. I see a wine lounge open down the road by Samuel, and I go across and I open the same thing. What do you think of this phenomenon?
I say is everything in life is like when you study economics. I studied economics when I was in sixth form, and you learn that in life, like any choice you make can always have positive and negative repercussions. There's never a simple answer to business and to decision making, like, because you might think there might be a problem, and this happens in government anyway. In politics, I won't get to politics, but you have a problem, and then you think of a solution for that problem, but in that solution you've now created a different problem which you didn't think you would create. So now you solved one problem, but the solution has now created a different issue, and you got to think of a solution for that one, and that creates another issue. It's like,
and like they say, a business is problem solving.
I mean,
once you have a problem, then that means there's a market for something.
So when you have duplicates, like, cool, it creates like, I'll say it's good in a way, because for a consumer, it's good, because when you have competition, these are business.
You have choice.
You have choice. Now the business have to impress you. When there's a monopoly and only one business, they know no matter what they're gonna.
You got to come to them.
They're complacent. So it's good because now companies compete on prices. They compete on innovation, on differentiating the product. They compete on doing a bit extra for their customer. So as a consumer, competition is amazing, but obviously for business, it's not great. So when copycats do this, they're kind of like, they're kind of making life difficult for themselves, because now they have to like, do a lot more than they wanted to do.
I know they say imitation is a compliment. Once somebody imitates you, you know you're onto a winner.
It means you're doing something right.
Exactly.
It's true. That's a fact, man. Fact.
All right. What are we doing here? Okay. So what if I'm trying to find how to structure this now. Change of mind. Say I've done this business for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But a couple of years down the road, I feel like it's not working like I need to, but I've invested quite a bit in it. And I need to change my mind to switch to something else.
Yes.
How do you think somebody should go about this?
Man, I say there's nothing as wasted as a wasted business. If you've done the business right, it's gonna like, even if your business, let's say, last year it had 0 and this year it made £50, like, that is progress. And as long as you're moving in the forward direction, you should always be proud of yourself, because that, like, what's worse than like that is just having no change at all. That means you've done nothing. I mean, like, be scared of being in the same place, not moving backwards or moving forwards. So if someone is to change their mind, firstly, like, they shouldn't feel like they failed. Like, they should feel like, what can I leverage from what this business has done for me? I mean, if I was to quit my business now, Like I have so many doors open for me that I didn't even know. Like I have so many doors open that I didn't even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about being opened for me. I didn't even know they existed before I started my business. You know what I mean, opportunities, people, businesses, clients. Like I didn't know that even were like I didn't even know at all. Now they've been opened for me. So if I was to start my business, like I have so much I can leverage from that can help me to get onto something different easily if I wanted to. So I think about that in terms of next steps. Think about what has my business done for me? What opportunities have I created for myself that can help me move on to do something different? Because they're all. I mean, you've met. If your business is done properly, I'm sure you've met a network of new people.
Yeah.
You've created new relationships, new connections, people who want to see you succeed. I mean, utilize that to your advantage.
Okay. As we wind down this show, the Business Club. Yes.
Quick. It's gone quick.
I'm going to ask you two things.
Yeah.
One last word to the youth watching out there who want to start something, just a word of motivation. And the other thing will be, like we said, the Business Club is an opportunity for our guests to plug their business to the public. So one word for the youth.
I would say, I want to make sure this is memorable. So I would say guard your environment very, very attentively. And when I say your environment, I just don't mean who you're around or where you are. As in, guard your environment in terms of what you see, what you hear, what people tell you, and because your environment will affect your mentality and it will affect your belief systems in terms of what you think is possible. And the minute you create barriers in your mind without knowing, that's when you limit yourself without knowing. So ensure that the people you're around are people who push you and people who will make you get to the next level. Ensure what you listen to, what you watch, what you hear, what you read. Make sure that it's stuff that keeps stimulating your mind to believe more positive things, because trust me, like your mind is so powerful, man. Like, and I say it to myself all the time, like look at where we, like, if you look around, just look outside your window and look at the world. Like, human beings, from science, human beings were primitive only 30,000 years ago. You know, that's about apparently 2% of the world of how long the Earth has been around. Mm-hmm. Earth's been around for billions of years, and look how much progress that human beings have made. And everything that everything you're seeing right now, anything you've ever touched, anything you've ever interacted with, was once just someone's mind.
Yeah,
someone's
it was once an idea.
It was once an idea. I mean, and I asked myself, like, if your mind can imagine it, your hands can create it. You know what I mean? So any vision you have, like, if you can see it, like, it's not impossible to make. There's a way. You know what I mean? There's a way. So yeah, man, believe it's possible, because 15 years ago, people didn't think you were able to have a screen and you can do X, Y, Z. People didn't think you can be connected. You know, you can stream and people can see you from their home on a device that's a phone. Yeah, these things didn't exist. People thought it was witchcraft. People thought it was, and look at us.
People died, heresy and all that.
And now people are using it day to day. And the next 10 years, where will technology go? I mean, so human beings are powerful and our minds are powerful. So yeah, it's possible.
Okay. And once again, plug your website, your socials.
So guys, again, my Instagram is at CEO Sam _. That's at CEO Sam _. My business is at Worth of Mouth. So that's worth as in the value, the worth of something, the worth. So at Worth of Mouth _, and you'll see the pages. This is on Instagram and Instagram and Twitter. And also you can possibly find me on Facebook as well. Same pages, Worth of Mouth and CEO Sam.
Yes, all right. As we conclude, we probably might see Samuel once again in the coming weeks. We'll let you know. But I'd just like to let you know, I will be back here with the Business Club this Friday. Yes, it's going to be an unusual one, because the Business Club will always be on Monday. at 6 p.m. or 6:30. We'll let you know still. But this Friday, we have some special guests coming from Uganda. And if you're interested in investing in property, investing in land, or if you own property in Uganda, we have guests from a company known as KPG. They will be here in the studio with us for a discussion about their services they offer. And some of the services they offer is collecting your rent or looking after your property, renovating. So once you have a property in Uganda, be it a house, an apartment, or a commercial building, say a hotel or a block of flats, the KPG can look after your building for you as you do your business all over the world. You simply have peace of mind because they do this for you, and they will be here this Friday, and we'll kind of dissect the entire business of what they do. And following Friday, they will be at the Uganda Convention. That will be on the 15th of September. This event will take place at the Troxy, the Troxy down there in the Allgate area. So if you miss them here, which you can't because it will be recorded and it will stay on our Facebook, so you can watch it over and over again, but you can actually physically interact with them the next day on Saturday because they will be at the exhibition at Uganda Convention at the Troxy. So don't miss that. And please tune in to find out more about this business and what it can do for you. So yes, we're going to say goodbye to the viewers, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Samuel, for coming through today. I will probably see you once again. It's been the Business Club here on TGM Radio. I will bring some more guests for you. We'll see you next time.